they can choose to come legally and work as part of our W Visa work program that is created for individuals to work in jobs where employers cannot find American workers, but only if they can't find them. Up to 200,000 visas a year will be made available for this purpose. We start with a program that can grow. As our economy grows and creates more jobs and is flexibly related to the rate of unemployment. In addition, a new agricultural program will be set up to replace the previously illegal flow of agricultural workers. Given that the Census Bureau and the Pew Hispanic Center have estimated the illegal flow in past years to be around 400,000, there should be enough visas to meet any demand for additional workers that might exist. If more illegal workers are needed, the newly formed Bureau of Immigration and Labor Market Research can provide additional visas to permit more workers to enter in occupations they find have shortages of workers. Given these new programs, it will no longer make any sense for intending illegal immigrants to spend tens of thousands of dollars and risk their lives to come here illegally. Illegal immigration will be a thing of the past. Fifth, the bill will protect American workers in 4 ways. Because of the new employment verification system, Americans will no longer have to compete for jobs with unauthorized workers who can easily be exploited. I say to so many of my colleagues who are worried about this, I ride my bicycle around Brooklyn early in the morning. I see on various street corners congregated, young men mainly. And some guy on a truck comes over and says, I'll give you $15 to work on roofing on a few houses I'm building. I guarantee you, he doesn't say to them, I'll pay you $2 above minimum wage and give you an hour off for lunch. Those illegal immigrants are driving down the wage base, particularly in lower skilled places. That will end. Second, in the bill's legal worker programs, Americans must be recruited first before any worker will be hired. In addition, all foreign workers will be required to be paid the same wage as an American would be paid for that job, meaning that a foreign worker will never be hired to undercut an American worker's wage. And finally, foreign workers will be given portability to change employers if they don't like their current employment situation. This means that employers will no longer choose foreign workers over American workers because they have more control over those workers. Finally, this is also a very fair bill, and we have, of course, I don't go into it here for lack of time, an H-1B system, and a system that says if you are a foreigner who studies in an American college and gets an MA or PhD in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, you will get a green card. These are the very people who in the past have created new companies and created tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of new jobs in America. Now they want to come to America after they study here or stay in America. We send them away and they go to Canada and Australia. That won't happen anymore under this bill. Finally, it's a very fair bill on legal immigration and resolving the status of the people who are here. We create a system, as I mentioned, that allows America to attract and retain the best and brightest minds from around the world in science, math, finance, technology, the arts, and more. Fundamental to maintaining America's preeminence in an increasingly competitive global marketplace. We also provide a JOLT, J-O-L-T Act, to our travel industry, making it easier for foreign nationals to come to the United States and spend their lucrative vacation dollars here instead of somewhere else. And of great importance, and perhaps the dividing line between some in this chamber and the rest of us, we give the 11 million people here a chance to come out of the shadows and earn a path to citizenship after spending 10 years on probation, working, keeping their nose clean, learning English and civics, paying their taxes. It is a tough path to citizenship, but it is a fair path, and it's a path that we make sure will happen, provided the specific metrics in our border security provisions are met. Our bill requires all of these important enforcement resources I have described to be put in place before we give the individuals a path to citizenship. That is a fair thing to ask. We in the Group of 8 agree. The federal government should have to put the resources in place that we promised as necessary to get the job done. That is entirely within our control, and we will live up to our word. But by the same token, we will not leave these 11 million people in immigration limbo forever. It makes no sense to have people living here permanently who are not invested in America. This is the huge mistake that Europe has made. We see the ill effects every day on the news of what happens in European countries who have not integrated their immigrant populations. Those populations became affected by a sense of alienation, a lack of opportunity, a lack of upward mobility. Well, that is not America. Here, we give people the chance to be all they can be through their hard work. We want people here to be serving on juries, serving in the military, and saying to people that they are just as American as anybody else. In my city, Mr. President, city in which I was raised and in which I live, is that beautiful lady in the harbor with that bright torch. That has been America. And that lady has said through the centuries, if you come here and work hard, stay clear of the law, no matter who you are, what your economic level is, we welcome you. We want you to become an American. We're not going to take that away. That would be just as dramatic a change in this country we love so as tearing up the Bill of Rights. It's been part and parcel, warp and woof of America. To those who say you have some secondary status, to those who say let's put in the bill an excuse so that someone 3 years from now can say no one can become a citizen. We say no. We have some basic principles we will not compromise, and that is at the top of the list. So, in conclusion, I want to send this message loudly and clearly to all who might hear it today. We are interested in compromises that will make this bill even stronger and more secure. Our group does not claim to have a monopoly on wisdom. We will hear out any of our colleagues from either side of the aisle who have good faith suggestions on how to improve this bill. I've heard some who say we should not consider any further changes to the bill. Dare the other side to vote against it. I reject that approach. We're not interested in scoring a political victory to help one party. We're interested in passing a law that changes the awful status quo, solves the problem, and makes America an even better and greater place. Just because the process has been to date so encouraging does not mean we can take anything for granted. So we welcome constructive input from our colleagues. We want to work with them. But the one thing none of us will do is condition the path to citizenship on factors that may not ever happen in order to appear tough. We're committed to border security. We're committed to ending illegal immigration. But we are equally committed to allowing people the right to earn their way to become an American citizen if they work hard, play by the rules, learn English, and avoid criminality. Just as I believe to my core that border security should not be a bargaining chip, I also believe to my core that leaving people in immigration limbo, uninvested in America and its successes, is also something we should not do just in order to pass a bill. We recognize that there's always more that can be done. I commit in good faith to every one of my colleagues in this chamber who want to work with me to improve the bill, that I'm open to any ideas. But for those of my colleagues who will not support this legislation, I simply ask the question, how would you solve this problem? The answers are not simple. That's why it's taken us months to get where we are today. This bill represents our best chance for a broad bipartisan compromise on a complex issue that we have had in decades. I hope all of us take this opportunity very seriously. I hope we all do what we can to show the American people that their lawmakers do still have the ability to solve difficult problems that affect every one of our daily lives. With that, Mr. President, I ask that my colleagues will agree to work with us in good faith to improve this bill and give a resounding vote from both sides of the aisle of support for this bill when it comes to final passage. I yield the floor.